Oh, hello. I've calmed down a bit now because I've actually found out that other people are getting exactly the same letter as me this morning, even if they've just put up one video. And yeah, I think loads of videos are going to be, loads of letters will be hitting to anybody who has the audacity to criticise Lloyd Evans through social media. It's bizarre. This is a man who's built his wealth actually by criticising the leaders of a cult. And when they were trying to close him down once, he was going, "My channel's under attack, oh, let's hide in the bunker," even though he still calls it the bunker. It's in Ukraine people are hiding in the bunker, but he still refers to it as the bunker. "Oh, my channel's under attack, oh," because he was saying, you know, that this is, or not, he was referring to the witnesses, this is an organisation who can't accept any form of criticism. Unbelievably, that he is now, and I've said this all along, that he is now as bad as Jehovah's Witnesses. He's exactly the same as Jehovah's Witnesses. And now he's proved it. Now he's actually sending these, and it's bully boy tactics. It's picking on people like me who will not financially can compete with this guy, or the amount of views or the money he gets, and it is a bullying tactic. He's been just like Jehovah's Witnesses. They were trying to bully him to close down his channel, and now he's trying to bully everybody else to remove any videos referring to any criticism of the guy. It is just staggering. The video I wanted to do was actually in relation to something I've been saying all along, was I wonder what the patrons feel who have been given money to Lloyd in good faith, thinking that he was using that money for his work as an advocate against the cover-up of child sex abuse. And finally, I saw a video. Somebody sent me a link to a video this morning, a guy called Peter. He sent me a link to this, and Peter's somebody I've never met. But funny enough, we know other people, and we're from the same area. We've never met each other, but we're both like United and music. And we're all ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, obviously. And he sent me a link to a guy called, and I'm going to put the link for the video in the description, because I think if you're interested, go and watch it. I quite like this guy. His man is called an intelligent guy. I don't know what his real name is. And he has made comments on my videos beforehand when he's pulled me up for being not quite as accurate in relation to evolution as he says I should have been. But anyhow, it's above my head, because he comes up with words that I need to get a dictionary to understand what he's talking about. But he speaks well, unlike a lot of other witness content, ex-witness stuff, where I start to watch them out of interest at the title, and unfortunately it's some of the guys who do speak out there remind me of where you used to know that the guy was going to give up the Sunday. You looked at who's giving the talk on a Sunday morning, and you realise it was going to be that boring elder, and you may as well just, you know, fall asleep for 45 minutes. And unfortunately, a lot of people's other content, it does seem that way. But people could say that about me as well. So hey ho, it's round and round, spins in circles. But this guy is called, his channel's called Truth Seeker Atheist. And this was a guy who, it's his first video since the shit hit the fan. And it's entitled Lloyd Evans, Why I Dropped My Financial Support. It's a really interesting video. I suggest you watch it, because this is an honest and frank video about a man who has been funding Lloyd. Apparently he says he was in the top tier of funding Lloyd, so heaven knows how much money he's been sending Lloyd. Obviously Lloyd's definitely missing his income, which is why he's trying to get £3,000 from anybody else who's put up any videos about Lloyd Evans. So maybe Truth Seeker Atheist may be getting a letter very soon from Lloyd's legal team to say, you know, you owe us €3,000 and take down that video you've just put up about him. So what happened is he's done this video. It's really interesting. You should watch it. But this was interesting because I've always wondered what people who were patrons of Lloyd, if any of them would like to come out and actually do a video about why they've stopped supporting him. He's done it. So this was in line with something else that I was going to say anyway. And it's this problem that people keep on putting up comments saying what Lloyd does with his own money is up to him, what he does in his private time is up to him, and he hasn't done anything illegal. All of that is completely wrong, because watch the guy's video. He gave the money to Lloyd in good faith that the money he was giving was going to be used for his activism and being an advocate for the cover-up of child sex abuse within the Jehovah's Witnesses. He didn't expect him that he was going to use this money to go to Thailand to sleep with prostitutes, and he figures out he thinks he slept with prostitutes 24 times over 4 years, but that's his analysis on that. Now, the whole thing about legality, I've always said all along, to me it was never ever well, of course it's a problem, but it wasn't it wasn't a case of the legality of what he's done, because people have said to me, well, but I don't see what the problem is. Prostitution is legal in some countries. There's a whole load of things that are legal in some countries, but I don't agree with them. It doesn't make them right. Goodness sake, where could you start with this? There's a lot of things that's still legal in countries, like chopping off people's hand because it gets, caught nicking something, or decapitating people in the public square for committing adultery, or for killing people because they're gay. Just because it's legal in a country doesn't make it right. Goodness sake, what a stupid phrase that is. The fact of the matter is, apparently, prostitution is still illegal in Thailand, like it is in the country I live in. So the fact that Lloyd continually says, I've broken no laws, and his fans say he's done nothing illegal. Prostitution is not legal. It is just permitted, but is not legal. It's illegal. And I just want to do this thing about people say if it's prostitutes, it's all right. This whole thing about being an advocate against the cover-up of child sex abuse, quoting his words, not mine, before taking them out of context. It was his words from his I'm Back video. This whole thing, when it comes to prostitution in Thailand, I just want to read this. And this is a Wikipedia article about child prostitution in Thailand. It says that the exact number is not known. It's estimated there's 12,000 to hundreds of thousands. They think there's many to be 30 to 40,000 prostitutes under 18 years of age, right? And apparently they make up 40% of the prostitutes in Thailand are underage. Okay, the very people that this guy is supposed to be advocating against the cover-up of child sex abuse, because this is child sex abuse. And it goes on to sex trafficking as well. And so at the end of the day, it's all there. I don't want to read this article. It's really, it's distressing, to be honest with you. And well, I don't want to read it anyway, but it's there if you just want to Wikipedia, prostitutes in Thailand. It's all there. At the end of the day, think about this. If they're saying that 40% of the prostitutes in Thailand are underage, he went over to Thailand, but the end of the day is what happens to them when they become legal to engage in an illegal process. As he seems to say, well, they're all over 20. How does he know they're over 20? Let's just say they were over 20. They were engaged in an illegal process, and he then engaged with that legal process by procuring them for sex, by paying them for sex. There's a good chance that the women he used who looked 20 were in the figure of 40% prior to become of a legal age of young girls who were used and abused as child prostitutes. What do you do if there is somebody who's a child prostitute? What happens when they turn 16, 17, 18? Did they say, right, okay, now you can work in a factory? Clearly, they are now unfortunately stuck and owned probably by somebody else, a criminal element, a criminal gang, and if you go over there and procure a person who looks about 20, in all probability, they were a child. They'd suffered child sex abuse and were a prostitute as a child. So how can anybody turn around? How can anybody turn around, Lloyd apologists and everybody else, and Lloyd himself, to think that there is no problem, that there is no conflict with him using prostitutes in Thailand and then claiming that the forefront of his work is this. Let's quote him again. Especially my work as an advocate against the cover-up of child sex abuse. You can't do it, Lloyd. It's the same as Vladimir Putin being an advocate against the cover-up of war crimes in Ukraine. You know, sorry, there's no way you can do that because of what you've done, because you've actually been part of the problem. Lloyd is part of the problem. So there's no way that he can even talk about this subject anymore, which is why Mark O'Donnell jumped ship and said, I've got nothing to do with this guy anymore. This is why everybody else says, this is why Javier Ortiz just said you can't be involved in the film anymore because of this. There's a massive conflict in interest. It's completely hypocritical, and it's narcissistic of him to think that he can carry on doing what he is doing and then it's all right. It's all right. So if anybody out there is still going to apologise for Lloyd Evans saying what he did with this money, it wasn't his money. It was given to him to stop people like Lloyd Evans. It was given to him to reveal guys like that, but within Jehovah's Witnesses. But he's just as bad. You know, that was given to him. It is his free time, but sorry, I don't want him in his free time to be using other people's money to pay 20-year-ish looking Thai girls who probably were abused as children, were child prostitutes. He shouldn't be doing that. It's as simple. So sorry, stop defending the undefensible. And why Lloyd hasn't come out and grasped this, I do not know. The fact of the matter is, what this guy does in his video, he says the same thing I said, that to date, that I'm supposed to go on video and apologise to Lloyd Evans for my videos criticising Lloyd Evans. I'm supposed to do that. We are still waiting to date for Lloyd Evans to apologise to his Patreons, especially the people who paid him money. Apologise to them for using their money to go to a country infamous for child sex abuse and procuring girls who are probably owned by other people who probably were child prostitutes and engaging them in sex and using their money. He's still not apologised, which is the reason why this guy in this video will no longer donate to him anymore. Still no apology from Lloyd, and yet he wants an apology from me because he hasn't apologised. Oh, the irony of the whole thing. So that was it. I just wanted to say that purely because he did his video. That I got sent out last night. I thought I need to do this because this has been something which is bugging me for a long time. That he still hasn't apologised. He won't apologise because if he does apologise, it means is an admission of guilt. So to me, it's never been a problem. Well, it is a problem. I'll say it again. That this has never been a legal issue. To me, it's always been a moral issue all along. It isn't a question of what laws did you break, blah, 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 blah. It's the moral issue. It's that the whole thing stinks. You know, anyway, that's it. That's my video. Wow. God. When will this end? Anyway, see you later. Bye.